Welcome to our weekly mayoral news conference. We have some new events that we're going to talk about. We're going to address some issues that you guys have all been calling and asking about. Hopefully we have anticipated all of your needs. We're going to take a few questions at the end. In the meantime, I will turn it over to the mayor.
All right. Excuse me. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Let me just check on this before I continue. Can you hear me okay? Is everybody? Okay. So we have a few prepared remarks, and as Melissa stated, after we conclude with what we have prepared for you, we will take questions. The first thing that we have is the neighborhood initiative. This is something that we've brought before you before, but we're excited to announce the launch of the inaugural Neighborhood Services Division Planning Expo. It will take place March 23rd at the Jackson Convention Complex. Dr. Robbie Sparkman-Smith will speak more about this expo and what it means to our community. All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're so very excited to be here and talk about what we have planned for the Neighborhood Services Division. There was a correction to the date has been changed to April 27th.
Okay.
That was a conflict.
April
27th. Same time. But the City of Jackson's Neighborhood Services Division, which officially launched November the 13th, 2023, will host the, this expo at the Jackson Convention Center. And we're expecting businessmen, planning practitioners, schools, academia, everybody to converge in this one place as we talk about planning in Jackson, what used to be, what is, and how it's going to be in the future. And that's what it's all about, not a complaining session. We want to look and see what's viable, what we can do to improve Jackson, one area at a time. We're working with Fair Housing, Mr. Reginald Jefferson with Office of Housing and Community Developments here, and Ms. Esther Ainsworth with zoning. We all work together with all the departments that will be working with us. We will work with JPD, of course, with community engagement. We'll work with those two entities that we talked about, code services, and everybody will be there to answer questions, to have information, material there for everybody that comes to participate. We're expecting a pretty large crowd. We will start from 4 to 8 that afternoon. It's going to be really good. We're very, very excited about it. For this is the first time that we've done this. And it's the first time for NSD because we're brand new. We just came into existence November the 13th. Last year I started from the very concept that my director gave me, this what she wanted to do. And I had to build it out, develop it step by step. And we did it. So we're here now. We're ready to start rolling, hit the ground running. So, and also with our division, we're ready to also open up all of our online applications. Everyone, we've got the Neighborhood Services, Neighborhood Association registration. We're really pushing that one because all of the opportunities that come with this division is incumbent upon whether or not you are registered. We know back in the past they were registered under the old system, but we need everybody to come on board with the online system so that we can give them their garbage cans, if they're an eligible neighborhood and if they qualify as well. So we do have the garbage can application that's going to be online tomorrow, as well as the Healthy Neighborhood Designation application. That's a little rigorous. That requires a workshop before you apply for that one. So let us know if you're ready for that one. We have all this information online. Please give us a call. My phone number is 601-767-9428. And if you need any information, call me, go online, look it up. But be prepared for, just make sure that you don't forget about the expo, because we're really going to push that. We really want that to be a really good event. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our planning team, not only for their hard work, but their excitement around new ideas and new initiatives. Something that I repeatedly have said is that, city planning is never neutral. It often works to the benefit of some communities, and some other communities need to be more engaged. And so we don't want to be a city that designs and defends, that we design solutions for the community and defend the merits to the community as to why those solutions should be valued and should be implemented. Instead, we want to have community engaged and involved in having this type of initiative where community can communicate, that they can express what their priorities, what they value truly is, allows us to better shape the city that we will be in the near future. Something else you want to add?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
this is one part of this that I was really, really excited about, and I forgot it. We are partnering with JPS, all 7 high schools. We've issued them a challenge for a Future Jackson challenge. So what they're going to do a short video clip of what they perceive a future Jackson, a better Jackson will look like. And the day of this event, we will judge that. We won't judge them, but their likes, however many likes they get for their project, that will determine the winner of this part. And we're hoping the media will help us out and show this all over the place. So we're really, really, really excited about getting these kids in and helping them see what planning is all about and how they can be effective in their neighborhoods, in this city, and grow it and not leave it when it's all said and done. So this is an opportunity for all of us to really impact these students. So we want everybody to come out and help assist with this. Okay? Thank you. Sorry about that.
So we're all excited about this, and we ask that you attend again April 27th. April 27th at the Jackson Convention Complex. We want you to come out. We want to find out what Anthony Warren's favorite part of Jackson is, what he wants to see, in the near future. Again, this year, we are again participating in the March of Mayors. Once again, we're joining mayors across the metro to build out our Mississippi food pantry, which will benefit many local shelters and other feeding partners. Our food item this year for the city, and I'd like to say that we are at least 2-time champs, at least that I recall, 2-time defending champs. So we're kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going for a 3-peat, even though I don't know if that's happening for them next year, but it will happen for us this year. Our food item is peanut butter, okay? So we're asking Jacksonians to bring peanut butter out to the locations in which I named to you in a moment. March 1st is the deadline, and you can bring your peanut butter to Corner Market, which is at 1220 East Northside Drive, Kroger, which is at 4910 Interstate I-55, JPD Precinct 4, which is at 4940 Old Kenton Road, the Jackson Fire Department Fire Station 20, which is at 4445 Medgar Evers Boulevard, Fire Station 23, which is at 2640 Raymond Road, Fire Station 28, which is at 611 Terry Road, and the VFW Post 98, which is 9832, that's the post, and that is at 4610 Sunray Drive. Once again, the item is peanut butter. The deadline is March 1st. It seems like it's a little quicker this time, Melissa. I think that they're trying to get us behind the 8 ball. Hopefully we don't win, but we know the spirit of Jacksonians, that they are generous, and they certainly have a greater sense of community and our responsibility to them. So we will post all of these locations so that you can know where to drop off your donation. The item is peanut butter, and we're going for the 3-peat. I guess they felt that tuna was too easy for us, so we'll show them that peanut butter will still win. At this time, I'd like to call forward Chief Wade for a brief presentation that he has to the media.
All right. Good afternoon. And also, congratulations to all the Chiefs fans out there on your Super Bowl win. And I'm just proud that we had a very peaceful Sunday, that people enjoyed the Super Bowl. There was no violence or anything, so I'm very excited about that. But in an effort to improve our media relations, I've made a lot of changes within JPD, restructuring, new appointments, and I do want to commend Sam Brown for the work that he does in public information, getting that information out. But I've appointed a new full-time public information officer. That's for you, the media, all right? I have enjoyed speaking with you, and I will continue to speak with you, but it won't be every single day, all right? So I have someone that's going to address those issues and make sure that we can get information out in real time. We can also solicit help from the public. We can also push information to Crime Stoppers and get some feedback from our Crime Stoppers program, and also improve our efficiency in utilizing social media platforms. We need that. So the person that is being assigned to my office as my public information office is no stranger to JPD. He graduated in 1985 from the JPD Training Academy. I know he doesn't look it. 1985. I came on in 95. So. I was born in 83, but it's not really relevant. Yes, but he's no stranger to JPD. He's no stranger to law enforcement in Mississippi. He served in patrol, gang suppression, FBI drug task force, juvenile division, robbery division, SWAT team, U.S. Marshals. So you'll see him with me a lot as I matriculate around the city. He worked at the JPD firing range. He spent 20 years at JPD. He left. He came back because of the new direction that we're going. He's a wealth of knowledge. I'm excited to have him back. He's done 10 years of full-time ministry work, 3 years of emergency management, 3 years as the homeless street outreach work, Stupot Community Service. So he has a wealth of knowledge. I introduce to you Detective Tommy Brown. Glad to have you, brother, sir. All right.
Good afternoon. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Chief Wade for trusting me to fill this role as a public information officer, along with a team, the media team that JPD has. I look forward to working with our team as well as working with you to make sure our community is informed concerning JPD issues. Thank you very much.
Right. He will be giving you his number, CJ Anthony. All right?
You didn't call them out for any particular reason, I'm sure. Once again, thank you, Chief, and all of the men and women of the Jackson Police Department for your hard work and your efforts to communicate more consistently and completely to our residents. Thank you. All right, so some additional announcements here. We have Roll-Off Dumpster Day, which is coming February 17th. This will be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Metro Center Mall, the former Dillard's parking lot. Again, we will have Roll-Off Dumpster Day February 17th, and that's at the Metro Center Mall, the former Dillard's parking lot. You can bring household furniture, small appliances and accessories, tires, chemicals, gas tanks are not accepted. All right, so let me read that over again because that might be confusing. I didn't know what the end of the sentence was, so I didn't read it with the proper inflection and the proper clarity. So you can bring household furniture, small appliances, and accessories. You cannot bring tires, chemicals, and gas tanks. Those are not accepted. That's how it should be stated. So you cannot bring tires, chemicals, and gas tanks, but you can bring the other items that I mentioned. Scrap Tire Amnesty Day is also coming, and that is also February 17th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Up to 10 tires are free at the city rubbish field, which is at 6810 I-55 frontage road south. That's in Byram, Mississippi. So you can bring up to 10 tires to the city's rubbish landfill, and that is February 17th at 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Only cars, only car, truck, and 18-wheeler tires are accepted, okay? No rims, no tractors or off-road tires, and no tire retailers can bring tires on this day at that location. Many of you may be aware of this, but for those of you who are not, we're excited that we've just started a new program in an effort to inform our community, to ask some of the questions that people have on a consistent basis. And the platform really hasn't been available to have extended discussions about the issues that are most pressing to people. We've started something called Ask Antar. We've launched this new show, and the show basically offers residents a chance to send their questions in. And when those questions are sent in, we take them and we answer them. So, of course, all of the questions that may come in, we may not be able to cover everything that is asked within one particular show, but we try to cover as comprehensively as possible the questions that come in. And what you may not see in one episode, if you stay tuned in, you may see it in a subsequent episode. So please tune in to Ask Antar. New episodes will be posted the first Wednesday of each month. So Look for that each first Wednesday. You can post your questions on social media. You can go to the city's website, which is at jacksonms.gov, and click on the Ask Antar link. Another matter that I'm certain many of you have heard about that I wanted to speak to is that we are saddened that we are going to see the departure of our planning director, Miss Chloe Dotson. Miss Dotson has come to us, or she came to us after we learned of her great work in Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley region, knowing that she was originally from the Jackson area. She was excited to come to the city of Jackson and offer her talents and abilities. And just as we took the bet that she would be a good addition to our team, she proved to be an invaluable resource, launching many new programs, joining what was a succession of what I believe to be very talented and hardworking planning directors. Ms. Dotson leaves because she was offered a great promotion, one that the city just simply cannot meet. And in fact, this is no different than what we've seen the last term that we had as an administration, where we had people who came into the city, offered their talents and abilities, but left for new opportunities. That's the way that it should go. When you are an administration looking for talented people who give of themselves, then what happens invariably in that process is that people notice their talents. People offer them opportunities. And we never want to stand in the way of someone's opportunity, an opportunity for personal growth and development, an opportunity for economic growth and development. So we're sad to see her leave us as a city, but we look forward to not only her new opportunity, but how we will continue a relationship with her, because she will still be working in economic development with the city of Jackson. She will be working with one of our financial institutions and one of our community partners. And so we're happy to work with her on the other side of the aisle. And we look forward to continuing to grow with her team. For those that are going to ask about who I am looking to appoint as a new planning director, I do not yet know. She is not leaving immediately, and part of the task that she and I have talked about is we will discuss with her, you know, what her vision or who she thinks is maybe prepared to take on that next phase. And so we take that into account as we have done in prior circumstances when we've unfortunately lost someone to people who could pay a little more money than we can offer as a city. And so we wish Chloe well, and we will certainly take advantage of her to the very last day that she is here with the city. I know that there have been some questions surrounding our library system. I want to give you a few updates here. The city is working with the library board and the executive director of the library system. We are working on proposals to address the AC, which is at the Medgar Evers Library. We are also, we have proposals to address the damage done by broken pipes at the Willie Morris Library. And we are also assessing the vandalism that was done at the Richard Wright Museum, which is shameful that someone would not only, create destruction at one of our city facilities, but more importantly, something that is meant to be an asset and a benefit to the community. But we have filed the paperwork and are now awaiting to hear from our insurance company about the damage that occurred at that particular location. I will also remind you at this time that we did receive funds from a long-awaited settlement, or we are receiving funds from a long-awaited settlement with Zurich concerning damage to many city facilities. And so we have not identified, or we have not put out all of the buildings or where the repairs will go forward. We're going to do a condition assessment of everything and identify what is the highest priority and what is needed at this particular moment in time. The money is received based on the comprehensive damage that has taken place and being insured at that time. Some of those facilities, one example would be the Tisdale Library, no longer exists. And so that would, of course, no longer be a priority or a place that we need to maintain that particular building. But we will be looking across the entire network of city properties and what we own and identify what has to be fixed immediately. There has been a lot of conversation, necessarily or justifiably so, related to our traffic signals and the many challenges we've seen. This is one of the things that I addressed on Ask Antar. I could say just tune in to Ask Antar and see what my response was, but I will share that there are a number of things that account for the damage and the challenges we've seen to our traffic signals. One is the age of our traffic signals. A good portion of the traffic signals we have across the city were purchased many years ago in a big bond referendum. And so just as they were purchased at the same time, their decline is now arriving at the same time. And so we see challenges with a number of our traffic signals because of that. We've seen accidents. We've seen 18-wheelers carry away some of the wiring of our traffic signals and causing damage to them. We've seen the unfortunate incident of accidents to take place. And more recently, we've been made aware of another threat to our traffic signals, and that is arson. We have video imaging of an arsonist that burned out the traffic signal just outside of these walls at Pascagoula and President Street. We do not know. We know that we've had electrical damage at other...
particularly with the code has really been doing so much work. I wanted to ask you about some of the points where specifically we saw this past week, the last remnant Briarwood building being taken down after 2 years of wrangling back, a lot of effort from Judge Jones and others. Talk about that and the significance of that in the context of what she's done.
Yeah, I think that, it's a reason that some of our local communitors have seen her talent that they want to advantage of and build on and use for their economic development purposes. I think that as we have grown with new leadership, whether it's Chloe, whether it was Dr. Kumar, we've learned new ways of addressing these problems that have been long existing in our city. I think that we have a strong team with our judges that understand the priority of these matters. I will say that Judge Reynolds keeps me well informed about the various environmental challenges that we have across the city and what his rulings are in his courtroom. And so I think Chloe deserves her flowers for being able to deal with not only the Briarwood property. You didn't even mention Casa Grande, or looking at how we have new rooftops in communities that have been without new builds for 30 years. All of that is important. Taking on very, very difficult challenges that we've stood behind her. One of those challenges is something that you're going to see before the council in the very near future, and that's transitional housing. What you typically see is everybody agrees that something needs to be done for the unhoused. Everybody sees that it is something that we have to address from a humanitarian standpoint. But when it comes to where that transitional housing goes, no one agrees that they want it in their community. And so she's looked for creative solutions. She's looked for comprehensive solutions. When we talk about her working alongside another community partner in the Jackson Resource Center and taking a shuttered nursing facility and turning it into a place where the unhoused could not only stay and seek shelter, but also have social services, have a barber shop and a beauty salon, but also a cafeteria. All of those things that we don't think about have to be addressed with the unhoused. When we think about the unhoused, we think about the fact that people don't have shelter. We think about the unsightliness of the clothing or the bags or the tents that may be across our city. We don't think about whether, what percentage of that population is unhoused simply because they just lack housing, and what percentage of that population is unhoused because they lack services. And so we have to be able to disaggregate that data so that we can address the challenge. Because if you merely provide a home to someone who has some underlying issues and challenges that are unaddressed, then they will find themselves in a state of being unhoused again. And so I thank her for her passion in that work, and I'm certain that her presence will not be lost across the city, and we will continue to see her in many regards.
One quick follow-up. I want to ask you about, we talk about narratives all the time, and especially narratives where the city's concerned. When people from bedroom communities and within the city of Jackson see these situations where Briarwood, Casa Grande, the continued work with Hotel O right there on Frontage Road, I want to see if I can get from you, like, just tell me how that helps to combat these narratives that, well, the city's not doing anything, but obviously these projects take time, and this is indicative of the efforts that the city is doing to try and not only get rid of these eyesores, but send a message to these owners that they can't keep violating code like this.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, there's always danger in a single narrative, right? Anytime we buy into someone else's narrative and who we are and what we're about, then it threatens us as a city. It threatens our viability as a community. It allows people who sometimes profit from that dysfunction to say things about, well, you know, Jackson doesn't have development. Jackson, you know, doesn't take care of the blight and the destruction. And at the same time, they're competing for opportunities with many of the businesses that we're trying to solicit. So we have to understand that there's a reason behind that, and there's value in doing that. And so we can't adopt that single narrative for ourselves. But we also have to follow it up with action. And so we've been able to address these long-standing challenges. And often that isn't as reported on or heavily reported on or reverberates around the social media or all of the outlets that we get our news from, as much as that destructive, counterproductive narrative does. And so if people have been watching, we've been able to bring down long-standing eyesores within our city. I just named a few. I didn't even talk about Ellis Avenue. I didn't even talk about, you know, even before Chloe took the helm as the planning director, but was working under Jordan Hillman, where we took down the property right across from the Standard Life building. So we've been able to take down a number of large and costly structures across the city in an effort to show growth, in an effort to show, you know, that we're turning the page and getting rid of those relics and those eyesores in our cities and those safety hazards that exist within our city. Yes, sir. Mr. Chiefs.
I got a couple questions. The first start about Chloe. When did you find out about her resignation, and can you share with us what community partner she's going to?
So Chloe informed me about the job offering, that she didn't apply for a job. In fact, what I will say without telling you who the community partner is because I will wait for her to tell you that, and I don't want to upstage that community partner and any efforts that they have of announcing that when she first came to Jackson, she applied for a job both with the city of Jackson and this community partner. She did not receive the job with the community partner. And so she believes, and I believe, that her work, her efforts within the city of Jackson raised the profile of her work and her ability, that she became a valuable asset that they thought would be helpful to their efforts. And so, once again, where we are saddened to see her departure, we're happy for her. We are happy for her, and happy that we'll still have her in the greater Jackson, or in the Jackson area, to do work, and not only for the city of Jackson, but across the state.
Did you say you found out today about it? Or?
No, I found out, I'm sorry if I neglected to say that. When I was out of town, the end of the weekend before, not this weekend, but the previous weekend, she called me when I was out of town.
Do you know when her last day is going to be?
I do, but I don't have it before me right now. Mid-March, but there's some flexibility there. So there's a number of projects that she feels very tied to and doesn't want to leave behind. I can share, hopefully without violating her confidence too much, that she was emotional about leaving. She was saddened to leave the city, and she talked about how she enjoyed her work here.
And has the city taken any steps to address the non-compliance of ADA at Talia Mara Hall?
You want to update? Because I believe that it has been acknowledged, and we're looking into it. I don't have specific updates at this time for you, but I look to return and provide you some more updates on that. There are a number of renovations. Well, one is the elevator. I do know about that. We're looking to turn a freight elevator into a passenger elevator because the existing elevator is just not large enough. to address all of our ADA concerns. I believe that is the ADA concern. And so we're looking to renovate that elevator so that it can take on, patrons of Thalia Mall.
And just lastly, do you know if is it the City of Jackson crews who are working on Congress, or is that Jackson Water?
That's on Pearl?
Yeah, well, on Pearl and right on.
All of that is Jackson Water. That is Jackson Water. I believe that you may have asked the question, or one of you asked the question about, it being your favorite parking space.
No, that wasn't me.
Somebody asked that question. It was in one of these press conferences that somebody asked about when that work was going to be done, and I told you it was Jackson Water, and the next day they were here. So we're happy to see them, Johnny on the spot. Keep asking questions like that. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a comment on the lockdown that happened at GSU today?
Yeah, I don't, Chief, if you want to come forward, I will say that I was notified of it, and that the Jackson Police Department responded very swiftly to it, and I'll leave it to Chief to give you further update.
Thank you. Good afternoon again. Yes, I was contacted by several concerned citizens about the lockdown at JSU. I did reach out to JSU, their team over there. I responded as well. We deployed our action unit, our traffic unit in the area. We put out a picture of the potential suspect. He has not been located yet, so it's still a very, very, very large concern for us. As I responded, my heart went out to the families because you have kids there that are there from all over the country and all over the world, including my kids. So we are over there. We've communicated with JSU. We're going to be there for the duration until we are absolutely sure that the threat is over.
Well, let me provide clarity in this regard. We have not definitively identified that it is an actual threat or someone has made a threat. But we do think that proper precautions should be in place to ensure the safety of not only all of the students, the faculty. One of the faculty members is near and dear to me. That's my wife, right? But we received information of a gentleman who was armed on campus, right? But it is not clear whether he was trying to make a statement or whether there was an actual threat. But nonetheless, we want to make sure that we have the proper people in place to ensure the safety. And what parents should be aware of, what people who work at JSU should be aware of, is that the Jackson Police Department was there immediately to ensure the safety of everyone there. And I've been in contact with President Thompson. He's not only called me to give me information, but he knows of the Jackson Police Department's willingness to be there, participate, and support in any way necessary.
Just a moment of clarity, Chief, if at all possible.
There's cords under here I'm kicking that I'm sorry.
Again, we've seen comments on social media, Facebook, just to set the record straight here, obviously open carry in Mississippi is a thing, but when it comes to school campus, university campus like this, can you kind of clarify?
No, you cannot have a gun on that campus, period, end of story. If you're walking down Terry Road or something, that's different. But we still want to interact with this person to find out what their logic is, why they're doing this, or did they have ill intent toward Jackson State University. But also we were concerned because you have a JPS middle school right around the corner, Blackburn. So we went to high alert because you know the amount of active shooter situations, mass shootings in this country. We're not going to hide behind open carry. That is a college campus. They sent out an alert about the liberal arts building. I received so many calls from concerned citizens, faculty. This email blast that was sent out to the students, it created a lot of concern. So we'll deal with the open carry when we get to that point, but we want to find out who this person is and why is he on that campus, because that is absolutely against the law.
What it also brings attention to, and thank you for that question, is the gray area, right? So no matter where you stand on the open carry debate, We know that our children now exist in a different era, right, where mass shootings are far too common. And when someone is saying that I'm in this vicinity because of my right to open carry, but at the same time, we have parents who are rightfully concerned about what they've seen across the nation, it creates a very uncomfortable, difficult scenario for us to address. And I think that we owe it to our children, to our students, whether we're talking about young adults in college or whether we're talking about middle schoolers at Blackburn, to have a more firm solution in hand. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Quick question. Any updates on getting a new director of public works?
None at this time. None of the work has stopped. It still flows through. We're still going through interviews, as I told you before. The work still flows through our CAO, who our city engineer and our public works department communicates. So nothing has delayed, nothing has stopped. In fact, you will see an abundance of work taking place as soon as the temperature warms up. All right. Thank you so much.